What's this? Orion Star Seeker 150 millimeter Goto Maksutov-Cassegrain telescope. Oh my! Wow! Dear Sula, since you told me your 150 millimeter EvoStar Skywatcher refractor won't fit in your car on your upcoming camping trip to a Bortle 1 site, I thought I would give you this early birthday present. An Orion 150 millimeter Star Seeker Maksutov-Cassegrain telescope. Enjoy your camping trip to the Bortle 1 site. Love, Katie. Wow! What a generous gift. Thank you, Katie. Oh, wow. Let's go check it out. Okay, I assembled it. It was very easy to assemble. It only weighs 23 pounds, the whole thing. It's very compact, so I don't think I'll have any problem fitting it in my car on my camping trip to a Bortle 1. Now let's see what all kind of goodies it comes with. It comes with an Orion Easy Finder 2 red dot finder. I wish I'd had this when I made my telescope buying guide, because I showed a picture of the SV Boney. Do not buy that one. That one is so cheap that the battery compartment fell apart when I opened it. Although they may be made in the same factory, but I don't think so. It looks different. But Orion gives you the 2032 battery that you put inside. And I recommend these red dot finders. This one came with this finder, and it goes right here. It also came with 2 eyepieces, a 23 millimeter 62 degree aspheric eyepiece, and it came with a 10 millimeter aspheric 62 degree eyepiece. It came with a 90 degree mirror diagonal, which you need for a Maksutov-Cassegrain, which I've never owned before, ever. But I've heard that the optics are really good in Maksutov-Cassegrains. I hope so. Came with a bubble level, because this one works the same way that the Meade LX90 series works. You level it parallel with the ground, and the bubble level goes in the diagonal. And then you center 2 stars. This comes with Wi-Fi installed in it. And then after that, it's fully Goto. But it comes with a Deep Map 600 to help you find things if you lose your power for some reason. Comes with a cigarette car lighter for your power supply, or takes 8 2A batteries, I think. I actually already have one of these from when I bought a Dobsonian 25 years ago, but it's pretty torn up, so thank you, Orion. And it comes with this Moon Map 260, which I could have used last night when I was studying the moon. Because it's very confusing, because in, what telescope was I looking in? My Dobsonian, it's upside down, and the map is how it looks to your eyes, so it was very confusing. I don't know if this one is mirror image or not. I'll have to check it out later when I do my moon study video. It was abruptly ended last night because I'm going to make a separate video about these Rode wireless microphones, which I love, and I think they're required for all YouTubers, but the battery life is terrible. Anyway, I wish it weren't cloudy, because I would point this thing on the moon right now and check out the optics. But as you can see, it's way too cloudy. So instead, I'm going to point it over there where some people built a house and they have installed a searchlight. Yes, a searchlight pointed directly at my house. And they leave it on all night long. I know, because I was up almost all night trying to make a time lapse of the Milky Way rising. And it was still on when I went to bed. I'm going to point it now and see what kind of people they are. Okay, I'm looking at their house. It's actually 3 houses. And there's a sign that says something, something. It's a mirror image, so I think it says something, something cabins. They must rent it, and there was extremely loud music coming from over there yesterday, as well as the searchlight, which I can see, so they must rent it out. Ugh. But the optics are great. I'm not liking this eyepiece, though. I need more room. It needs a rubber cup so I can turn it up, because I need a little more room between my eyeball and the eyepiece. I kind of have to put my finger there. But that's okay. I have some better eyepieces, and this diagonal is plastic. So I think I'll get another diagonal. But other than that, I think the optics are really good. And gosh, it's so lightweight. Let's see now. It's 150 millimeter aperture. That's 6 inches. And it is 1800 millimeter focal length, so f12. So good for planetary imaging. Probably not that great for deep sky, but that's not what I want it for. I want to look at some cool stuff in a Bortle 1. Although it's very dark here, but Bortle 1 will be even better. So thank you, Katie. This was such a great present. I can't wait. Thank you so much. Corrector plate, secondary mirror. And look at it. It's so cute. I love the garnet color. Beautiful. Good job, Orion. Very cute. Well, that's my new Orion Maksutov-Cassegrain 150 millimeter fully Goto Telescope. I wish I could show you something in it, but it's so cloudy. But if it clears up, I will. If not, definitely will bring back some footage from my trip to the Bortle 1. Well, the clouds parted just enough for me to get my first light with my SEEKER 4 150 millimeter Maksutov-Cassegrain telescope. I have it on the 10-day-old waxing gibbous moon. I'm not using the eyepiece it came with. I'm using a TeleVue 24 millimeter pan optic, which is a much nicer eyepiece. I'm going to do an episode about eyepieces soon. And I have it attached to my TeleVue 3-time Barlow. And it's pretty spectacular. And next I'm going to see if I can take the eyepiece out and attach my camera. I'm going to show you Tycho, Clavius, and Maginus in the southern highlands. There are a lot of tall craters in that area, and they show very well on a 10-day-old moon. So let me see if I can get some shots of it right now. So this telescope came with a number 62 adapter. Also works with the Meade LX90 series of telescopes. I think it works with all Meade telescopes, I believe, but this came with this SEEKER 4. I completely forgot, so I took off the 3-time Barlow, I took off the 1 1/4 nose piece. All you do is you unscrew this entire piece that goes onto the end, then you screw in the number 62 adapter to the back of the telescope, and then you just attach that to your camera's T-ring. And I mean, it's not going to be magnified like it would be with the 3-time Barlow, which is really neat. But just to show off this telescope, I will take some video with the camera on this telescope. Okay, I've got it on the southern highlands, and I've got it on Tycho. It's a pretty impressive telescope. Can't wait to do some stargazing with it and see what it's capable of. It comes with Wi-Fi, so you can control the telescope with your phone. You just download the SenScan app on your phone. So I got the SenScan hand controller. It's just like the one that goes on the Sirius EQG mount, except this one is for Alt-Az because this is an Alt-Az base, and the other one is for equatorial mounts. But right now I don't have it on at all. I'm just pushing it around because it's so cloudy, and I just wanted to get a look at the moon with it. And I'm looking at the moon map that came with this telescope, and this moon map shows the whole surface of the moon, so you can't see all of this at the same time. You can only see different things in different phases of the moon. But right now is a good time to study the moon because you can see a lot. Okay, I've got it on the Southern Highlands. I've got Tycho in there, an 85-kilometer wide crater, and Maginus and Clavius. Pretty neat. It's a shame I did not have this telescope when I made my telescope buying guide. I think the StarSeeker 4 also comes as a regular Newtonian reflector, which is a little bit longer but very similar to this model. And it comes in different sizes. 150 millimeter is the biggest size of this model. But so far, I'm very happy with it. So what a generous gift, Katie. Thank you so much. Wow. Pretty impressive. One other thing I want to tell you about it is the focuser is over here, just like on the Meade-Schmidt-Cassegrains, except those focusers are metal, which is hard to touch when it's cold, but this one has rubber on it, which I like. One last thing I wanted to tell you about this telescope is that it's fully Goto and computerized. You level it parallel to the ground, and you point it to true north, not magnetic north. The Meade you can point to magnetic or true north. This one you have to point to true north, and then you can either bright star align or two star align. And once you do that, then you either use the app on your phone or you use the hand controller, whichever you prefer, and slew to anything in the 40,000 object database. The cool thing about this telescope is that you can then manually move it and it will remember where it is in the sky. I think that's a really nice feature. I really like that, and I can't wait to try it out and tell you if it works. But so far, I think this is a pretty impressive telescope. Okay, time to get this one going. This is the first time I will have turned it on. I did look at the moon, but I was just using it manually. So you level it, and they don't give you a bubble level. I don't know why. And point it to true north. They do give you a compass, but a compass doesn't point to true north. It points to magnetic north, so what good is that? So that was kind of odd, but do you see how comfortable it's going to be viewing? But let me get it pointed to true north. As I mentioned in other videos, you can set the compass on your phone to true north. And I have mine set to true north, which is close to, but not exactly Polaris. Okay, and they don't give you a bubble level, but my Carpenter level was pretty level. So, should have cooled down by now. Let's see. And the other strange thing is that it only has this one thing to tighten. But I think it's ready, so I'm going to turn it on now. And it has that same SynScan hand controller, although it has Wi-Fi and you can use the app. Okay, this is my first time using the actual controls. It has two methods to align: brightest star or 2-star align. I think 2-star align is more accurate, but I'm just going to use brightest star. Vega, great. And you have to point the scope to Vega. It doesn't go to it. But it should be easy to find with my red dot finder. But if you use a red dot finder, always remember to turn the red dot off, because if you don't, the battery will die. It's real easy to do that. A red dot finder makes it so easy to find your bright star. Hopefully I lined them up. I found Vega, but I'm going to use this cheap, terrible Celestron eyepiece with the crosshairs in it to get it nice and centered. Alright, I got that centered. It's lined up with my red dot finder. Okay, it asked me to find a second star, Arcturus. And I've got Arcturus centered. And now I'm in the object list. It doesn't give you anywhere to put the hand controller because it really wants you to use your phone, which I could, but I'm going to use the hand controller. Very quiet and peppy. Okay, admittedly I have a red light shining on me, but it looks pretty good. Yeah, and you know, it went right to it, so I give it an A+. Well, overall my impressions of this Cassegrain telescope are very favorable. I thought it performed very well. The images were sharp and crisp. It was incredibly easy to set up. It only weighs 26 pounds. You just find 2 stars, and then you can either use a hand controller that you can buy separately, or you can use the SynScan app on your phone to go to a 40,000 object database. And it went right to the objects, every time. I did walk away a couple of times and it was no longer in the field of view. I'm not sure why that happened, but I was easily able to get it back in there. What I don't like about it is that the cap comes off way too easily, and the star diagonal is plastic and I don't like it, and I will replace it. And I don't know if it's because of that diagonal, but the eyepieces that it came with and my own eyepieces that I already had both made me put my eye way far away from it, and I prefer to smash my eye into the eyepiece, and I wasn't able to do that. I don't know if that's because of the diagonal, but I mean, it's a package that really, if you want to get into the hobby and you really want go-to capability, this is a really nice telescope package. You get the 2 eyepieces, you get the Easy Finder, red dot finder, you get a moon map and a star map, and it's everything you need to get started except some 2A batteries. And this one is 150 millimeters, and so it's their top of the line in the Star Seeker 4 series of telescopes. If you get the reflector, it's a lot cheaper than the Maksutov-Cassegrain. And they also make a 127 millimeter Maksutov-Cassegrain, and it's cheaper as well. But if you really want aperture and you're willing to forego go-to capabilities, you can get something much cheaper. As I've said many times, you can get Dobsonians with massive aperture, but yeah, it's not going to have go-to. You're going to have to find everything yourself. So I think this is a great little telescope. I can see why Orion packages it the way they do. It has everything you need to get started, and I think that probably appeals to a lot of people. I don't know if this was an accident, but mine came with this number 62 T adapter. This T adapter fits all Meade-Cassegrain telescopes, and it also fits the Orion Maksutov-Cassegrain telescope. And what you do is, Cassegrains can focus very easily. As I mentioned, you just take off this back piece, and instead you screw this in, and then you get a T-ring for your camera, and you screw the T-ring into here, and then you're ready to video or take photographs. It's great for lunar and planetary imaging. If you want to take long exposure photographs, you would need to get an equatorial wedge, because these are all on alt-az bases, and if you take a long exposure, you're going to see field rotation. So you'd need an equatorial wedge, and you'd need to polar align, but I don't think that's what the strength of this particular telescope is. But for visual, I give it an A+. I thought it was excellent. So, Katie, thank you so much. Very generous gift. If you get this telescope, I would recommend that you get a padded case. Orion sells one that specifically fits this telescope to keep the dust off of it, and get some better eyepieces when you have a little more money. But other than that, it's everything you need to have a fantastic time under the stars. I hope you found it useful, and I hope you're getting out under some dark skies and enjoying them. So long till next time. Sula, signing off.